Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's episode. Before we get into it, though, I just want to let you all know something. It's okay, man. It's okay if you're suffering from some mental health issue. If you're going through a crisis, call someone. Reach out to somebody. It is not weak. You may be broken, but you are not weak. Asking for help is a sign of strength, of durability, mental toughness, and intestinal fortitude, and most importantly, courage. Don't give up on yourself. Stop that stinking thinking. I don't tell you these things because I'm some health professional or some therapist or this amazing individual. No, I suffer from these things like depression, self-doubt, self-hatred, self-harming ideations, just like regular human people, just like you. This video is for you, for those people like me suffering from those things. You can back yourself off the ledge, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody in this world has a capacity for redemption. I promise you. It's not too late. Stop that stinking thinking. Back yourself off the ledge. Get into this video. And I promise you, we can get you the help you need. I will put links in the bio down below, in the description down below, if you need help right now. Let's get it. Remember, grind hard, hustle smart. Let's get into the episode.
It's the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. Talking big, big. I knew that one day that I could make it big, big. I'm talking how to stay smoking without a sissy. Now we get up and do it like we got a big rig. It's getting serious, I know you're curious. Took some losses through the process, had me furious. But I got eyes on the vision.
Welcome to today's episode of Grind Hard, Hustle Smart with me, Charles Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, today I got a good one for you. And as promised, I told you I was going to talk about, how I overcame and still work on overcoming and, keeping it away, depression, self-hate, self-doubt, self-harming ideations. And, as always, I only speak about things that I've personally been through because there's no better person to talk about your experiences than you. So I'm going to tell you one strategy, one thing that helped me get through some hard times. So backstory is I was stationed in Hawaii. I went through a divorce. I lost my children or not lost them anyway, but, I didn't have as much custody as I would like. And, the unit didn't take me on deployment. A lot of things were just all bad, man, just all bad. And I fell apart. I really did. I would sit outside of base and just cry my eyes out, man, just bawl. And my NCOIC would call. I'm like, man, I can't make it to work today. I need to go to behavioral health. And some people might hear this like, Charles, you are weak, man. Nah, man, I found, as I look back on it now, that was my strongest moments. Those moments is what held me together, just seeking out that help. And the strategies that I learned and I still utilize to this day is what I'm going to explain to you today. But I want to explain it from a different perspective, from a more ground level, a more down-to-earth perspective, not from a therapeutic professional or a counselor perspective, but from a person who has been able to apply it, right? And what I'm going to talk about today is cognitive behavioral therapy, but not in the way in which you would understand it, but in a real simplistic manner. So what I read off for you here is, when we talk about cognitive, we're talking about being conscious of the mental activities or thoughts or mental processes. That's just being conscious of what's going in and out of your mind, making sure that those triggers that are out there or that come into your life, whether it be people or places or objects or things, right? Being cognitive of those things, interaction with your mind and the process by which you go about thinking about those things. Because when it comes to cognitive behavioral therapy, you're really talking about learning yourself, noticing and recognizing when you're starting that stinking thinking or going on that downward spiral, or you've been triggered and that emotion that has always negatively impacted you has now been triggered in you, how do you cut that off? That's what the cognitive part is talking about. And so what I mean, how thinking about things in a more conscious way has helped me, because now I can control the floodgate. It takes it out of somebody else's hands and gives me the power. Now I'm empowered. Now I have all the power in my hands to control how I feel throughout the day. Just think about that. Some of you all are out there and you're just feeling down and anxious, and you feeling like you're not any good for the world. You're feeling down on yourself. You hate yourself. You doubt yourself. And you're just really wanting power. You're wanting power because you feel like all your power has been taken away from you. This is how you get that back. You know, Ace Hood got this new song out called Energy, and it's talking about protecting your energy, and I love the song for the reason being is thinking about things cognitively helps you protect your energy. And a lot of y'all need this. I need it each and every single day. How do I protect my energy? By thinking about things in a cognitive way. Understanding and recognizing the mental processes that are going on in my mind and being able to shut those things off like a light switch or counteract them, right? And so the next part of that is behavior, the way in which one acts or conducts oneself, especially towards others. See, when you start thinking about things cognitively and you start recognizing the signs, even if you've starting to go on that downward spiral and you recognize, hey, I'm not acting the way I normally would act in a positive manner. I'm treating these people like crap. I'm doing this. You can recognize that, you know what, I apologize. I need to change. Let me reset. Let me step out the room. Let me reset for this moment. And you can recognize the behavior of others, because other people's behavior can also be a trigger. So you step aside, you know what? Before things go in the direction I don't want them to go, let me take a step back. Woosah. Let me gather my thoughts. Let me gather my thoughts, right? And then the other part about it is therapy. And I'm not talking about going and sitting down with a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor or therapist. This is what I'm talking about. Therapy is defined as treatment intended to relieve or heal a disorder. A disorder can be any. Some of our lives are in disorder. Some of our emotions are in disorder. Some of our mental health is in disorder. Our school is in disorder. Our workplace, our work environment is in disorder. You can be the therapist in any of your situations. You can bring your disorder into order by practicing these things, by thinking about things cognitively, recognizing the processes, understanding what's going on inside and outside of your mind, recognizing the behaviors that set you off, recognizing the triggers that set you off, and then begin to give yourself therapy. And the way I define therapy as something that's regimented, structured, and you start to see these things for the things that they are, and you work consistently every single day about recognizing these things and changing the environment around. There's this one term I just learned about, and it's called ERQ, or just simply ER, emotional regulation. And people are able to cognitively redirect themselves or think about their situation in a different way so as their emotions about the situation will change. How many of us would have a better day if we just practiced some emotional regulation? But it first begins with doing CBT consistently. We don't have to cuss these people out the way we usually cuss them out. We don't have to get down on ourselves the way we get down on ourselves. We don't have to get that stinking thinking the way we always have. When we recognize the trigger, we notice the behavior, and we begin to get that thing some therapy. You realize that your behaviors change, their relationships with your coworkers, with your spouse, with your loved ones change. Because now, instead of thinking about things as external as they used to be, now you can do these things internally. And this is why I'm real big on talking about forgiveness. And what I want you all to realize is this. I look at forgiveness as take a 9 square tile on the floor. If you got tiles, just pick out 9 squares. Put yourself in the middle. And those other 8 tiles around you are the external things that is, according to you, keeping you imprisoned. But what you begin to realize as you gain wisdom, you gain knowledge, is the only thing keeping you imprisoned inside of those 8 squares is you. Because forgiveness is about you. Forgiveness is a selfish act. Forgiveness is about forgiving others for you, on behalf of you, so that you can go on to be the best you. You can go on to live your life. You can give yourself some breathing room, some freedom to say, man, that person didn't do me right. And even if they don't step to me to ask for forgiveness, I forgive them anyway, because I can't afford to let their behavior affect my behavior, affect my mental health, affect my emotional well-being, my emotional state at this moment in time. I walked in here and I decided I'm going to be happy today. I can't let that person affect me in such a way as to take that power that I've gained through consistently practicing my thoughts cognitively and being aware of them. I can't allow them to take that power away from me. Let me get this power back because I'm in control. And this is what I had to learn when I went through everything, and everybody goes through. It's natural. We always want to say that it's the other person's fault, right? Oh, they're affecting the way in which I act. No, I'm still in control of me at the end of the day. I have to understand that I'm still in control of me at the end of the day. All of me, all of my emotions, all of my mental state, all of the way in which I behave. But if I grab that trigger back, if I begin to say, you know what, I have cognitive awareness of who I am and what's going on in my mind and what triggers me, whether it be behaviors, people, places, or things, let me understand what the triggers are. Let me understand what those triggers, what kind of emotions those triggers make me feel. And I begin to head these things off. You know what? That makes me feel like crap. I'm going to feed myself happy thoughts now. And I know it sounds like, Charles, this is childish, but it's not. It works. I promise you it works. And you begin to see yourself in a different light. You gain a sense of confidence about yourself. You know what? I thought yesterday that I wasn't that good, but today I'm great. I'm better than I thought I could be. And this way you start to put things in your life that you need and take out things that you don't. You become a surgeon. You become a surgeon strategically putting things in place in your life that you don't need and taking things out, putting things in your life that you need and taking things out that you don't need. See, some of you need to put those people in your life that believe in you when you don't believe in you. Put those people in your life that will tell you how good you are when you don't know that you're that good. Put people in your life that will encourage you, inspire you, motivate you, give you that gumption, that willpower, that intestinal fortitude you need to keep going. Put one foot in front of the other each and every single day, throughout the day, every moment of the day. You need to get those people, those negative people out of your life who are constantly, you know what? You didn't do that well because you're not that good at it. You're not that smart. You can't sing as good. And look at those people. When you start to gain some cognitive awareness, you look at those exact same people, those exact same things that are feeding you those lies about how good you are or are not. And you say, you know what? You telling me I can't sing, but you can't sing either. You telling me I can't speak, but you can't speak. I can't write. You can't write either. You start to combat these negative emotions, these negative thoughts, these negative connotations, these negative labels that people place on you, and you start to combat them. You know what? I'm as good as I can be. I'm a better speaker than I give myself credit for. I'm about to get better. And I can't take crap from you because you don't speak at all anyway. You don't write at all anyway. You don't sing at all anyway. You don't dance at all anyway. You don't study for the test anyway. You don't go to school anyway. You don't have a job anyway. Why do I care what you have to say? This is what happens. This is the mental shift that you allow yourself to go through when you realize you're in control, when you start to take this cognition seriously, become cognitively aware of what's going on in your mind. You can start to redirect that energy and combat these things head on. You know, when I thought about, life-ending ideations, I recognized this. I said, why would I get this far to do it now? I'm better than that. I'm not as bad as I think I am. I'm not as bad as father as I think I am. I'm not as bad as a soldier as I think I am. I'm not as bad as a husband as I think I am. I'm not as bad as a person as I think I am. I'm a better speaker than I gave myself credit for. I'm a better student than I gave myself credit for. I'm a better father than I gave myself credit for. I'm a better husband than I gave myself credit for. I'm a better human being than I gave myself credit for. I'm better than I gave myself credit for. There's no reason to end it all. People still love me. I'm still good at what I do. I still got purpose. I still got value. I still got reliability. I'm still a man standing on my own 2 feet who was born to walk across this earth and change lives. I still have value and meaning and purpose. Why would I do it now? There's no reason. I'm still good, baby. I'm still good. I'm still great. I'm still phenomenal. I'm still outstanding. I'm still strategic. I'm still intelligent. This is the mental shift that you allow yourself to go through when you practice consistently. Give yourself that cognitive therapy. You recognize the processes that are going in your mind, positive or negative, and you begin to head them off. You recognize the behaviors that trigger you, not only from external, but from internal. It can be internal behaviors that put you on that downward decline, and so you need to feed yourself the opposite of that negativity. Feed yourself that positivity. Man, I'm good. I'm good, baby. I'm good. Then you give yourself therapy, and therapy is structured and regimented, meaning that you got to do it consistently over time. And when you start to do these things over and over again, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it becomes a part of you and who you are, and your behavior starts to change. But not only your physical behavior, but your mental behavior. Then what you'll notice is you start to feel better about yourself than you did months ago. You know what? I'm not as bad as I thought I was. And you be driving in the car one day possibly, or sitting at home by yourself. You know what? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? But this is where it starts, man. This is where it starts. I'm talking about the ground roots level. I'm not a guru. I'm not a mental health provider. I'm not a therapist or psychiatrist. I'm just somebody who's been through crap in life, and I'm telling you how to apply these strategic things so that you begin to change your life for the better and turn your life around. Feel better. Man, I love Coach Prime's saying, what does he say? Feel better, do better. Or look good, feel good. Feel good, do good. Do good, pay good. I love it, man. See, that's all cognitive. Cognitive. That's the reason why when other people smile, you smile, because they gave you some positivity and you want to reciprocate it. You begin to take this mental shift, man. I just want to see you all change your lives, man. Take this mental shift. Just listen to this thing, CBT. And we don't think about these things as the book meaning. Think about how you can apply these things to your life in the most simplistic way possible. If somebody feeds you negativity, if that negative emotion arises, you counteract that thing with some positivity and make it a habit, make it a behavior. Think about these things from a cognitive perspective and recognize the processes that are going on mentally within you, and start to counteract those things. So when you start on that downward spiral, and you start that negativity, and you start that stinking thinking, and you start giving yourself that self-doubt, give yourself the opposite of it. When you say, you know what, I'm not as good as I thought I am. That thought crosses your mind. You know what? I done made it this far. Why would I think that today? I'm gonna be better than I was the day before. You give that thing exactly what it gave you. Give it the same energy that it gave you. That negativity, that same energy, you give it right back. You throw it right, redirect that energy. Baby, you're great. You're magnificent. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You're wonderful. You're courageous. You're brave. You're inspiring. All of the anonyms of negativity, feed yourself those. Instead of feeding yourself bad, feed yourself good. Instead of feeding yourself negativity, feed yourself positivity. Instead of thinking about things pessimistically, think about things optimistically. If it's down, it's up. If it's dark, it's light. Baby, you got this, man. I promise you. You can get out of this. You can climb out of that hole. hey man, you can get through this. I promise you. I promise you. And as I was going through these things and I felt like my purpose and my meaning and my value was all being stripped away from me, I had to regain control because I was out of control. I was out of control, and this ain't something I just conquered in a day. I still deal with these things on a daily basis, but I make a habit of thinking about them cognitively, recognizing the behaviors externally and internally, and giving myself therapy, making these things habitual to the point where immediately I'm able to turn on the switch to say, you know what, I'm not as bad off as I thought I was. This is how you apply these things. This is how you apply these strategies. We make it seem so complicated and so hard. And yes, depression can be contributed to a chemical imbalance in your mind. And we can talk about these things on a scientific level, but in application, these are the things that helps you get through until you're able to get to somebody. You start to recognize the signs. Because oftentimes the thing that angers us the most is that we don't have an outlet. We don't have nobody to talk to, or we feel like nobody's listening. Kind of like the movie Get Out. We feel like that. We feel like we're in our sunken place and we're just screaming at the top of our lungs on the inside, but outwardly nobody can hear us screaming on the inside for help. If you practice what I'm telling you, I promise you, you'll start to see the light. And you'll understand that you have control over this. And even if things don't seem like they're going well at all, promise you, you're still in control, baby. Because guess what you have the control to do, the power to do? Ask for help. Ask for that lifeline. Don't do this by yourself. That's what I say. When you start to practice this CBT, this cognitive behavioral therapy, and you think about things cognitively and you recognize the signs and you recognize the processes that your mind is going through that's leading you to that downward spiral, that negative thinking, and then you can counteract it with a certain type of behavior, and then you can give it a structured, regimented application through therapy, you'll start to see things differently. You'll start to see things differently. And when you do reach out for help, guess what? You'll be easier to help. You'll be easier to help. Some of us, maybe we just don't know how to ask for help. I'm going to tell you how to ask for help. You ready? You ready for this? I need help. Can you help me? Help me, please. Somebody help me, please. Take me to a professional, please. I need help. Someone help. Or simply, help. Help. I can't do this by myself. Then, when you start to do this again and again, like I say, you become a surgeon. You can cut the negative things out of your life, the negative people out of your life, the negative triggers out of your life, and you begin to see things for what they are. And your life, all of a sudden, becomes a lot simpler than it was when you were stuck in that negativity, when you start thinking about things positively. And I'm not talking about some naive positivity. I'm talking about true positivity that brings you joy. And you can see the world for what it is, and nothing is confusing anymore. And I'm telling you, it's freedom. Not only because you forgave others and yourself, but it's freedom because now you can move about the world in such a way because you know who you are. You're emotionally aware. You're mentally aware of who you are deep down inside. And when somebody asks you how you feel, you can tell them exactly how you feel because you've conquered you. You regained the control that you've been seeking this entire time. This entire time, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, if you practice these things, it's going to help you. It's going to help you. And like I said, if you're going through anything and you don't think that you can get yourself through these times, and there's no way, when you're at the end of your rope, man, please just call for help. You can call 911. You can call a family member, call a friend, email me, reach out to me, message me, say, Charles, I need help. And I promise you, I'm going to get you the help that you need. And if you can't do any of those things, just go to the description in this video. I'll put some links to some places where you can get help down below. You're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. But if you apply these things, I promise you, it will get you to the help you need, or it will get you over. And no, this isn't a quick fix. It's not something that heals all wounds right now. This is something that you have to do consistently, daily, monthly, yearly, to get yourself to where you need to be mentally, to be exactly where you want to be physically and economically in every single way. And you're going to laugh about this one day. I do it all the time. I get to a place and I say, you know what? What was I thinking? I was crazy back then. I was out of control back then. And you start to giggle to yourself because you recognize the absurdity of the way you thought at that point in time. Thought you was alone and there was a million people standing around you reaching towards you, trying to get you to reach back. They just wanted you to ask. Had that strength to just reach out, throw a hand up, say, I need you. Oh, man, I can't wait till you all get to that point. You email me, you know what, Charles? You were right, brother. I appreciate it. And I'm going to say I love you. I love you, and I want you to be here as long as humanly possible because I can't be the best me if you don't become the best you. So I need you. I need you. That's my call to action to you all today. Start to think about things cognitively. Really give some things consideration. Don't be so quick to speak or react. Recognize the triggers, the signs. Then counteract those behaviors, counteract those thoughts emotionally, mentally. Feed yourself the opposite of positive negativity. When those negative things start coming in, feed it positivity. Fight back with positivity. When it tells you you're bad, say, I'm good. I'm great. I'm phenomenal. I'm outstanding. I'm magnificent. Then begin to give yourself therapy. Utilize the first two to give yourself therapy. Do it habitually, regimentedly, and structured. Whew, ladies and gentlemen, I love each and every single one of you. This is a hard topic for me to talk about because I can go on and on about this, man. I really can. I really can. And recognize that you are history. Every day you wake up, you're history, baby. You're writing your own history book. Each and every single day you wake up, decide to put one foot in front of the other and think good things. You're writing your own history book and you just don't know it yet. I can't wait to read it. Man, I love this, man. But anyway, you all are awesome, amazing, wonderful human beings. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You can go to thecharlesjohnson.com to book me for speaking engagements. You can also go to thegrindishard.com to purchase merchandise. And as always, we're available on every major podcasting platform: Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Just Google it, Grind Hard, Hustle Smart, and I promise you'll find us. Clearly, we're also on YouTube, the same name, Grind Hard, Hustle Smart. And let's get our subscriber base up. Let's get our downloads up. You all, man, y'all keep me going, and I just love all the support you all give. We're in over 20 countries now, man. That's crazy. 20 countries now. Imagine if I just succumbed to that stinking thinking. You know what? Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, baby. You know what? I'm great now. I'm in 20 countries now. I'm on every continent except for Antarctica now because I've been grinding hard and hustling smart, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you all to do that exact same thing each and every single day. Grind hard, hustle smart, practice that CBT. Have a good one.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. That's right. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. That's right. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to make no time to waste. Running through it with the young influence, adolescent presence, I'm succumbing to it. I've been giving yeses when I shouldn't do it. I complete ejected, but the moves elusive, and I'm barely moving, but I'm still gon' boost them. I can't work on winners when I know you're losing, so I work the winners and they throw the deuces. Guess I had to pivot, shooting no bazookas for the facts. I need racks, paper cash, fuck a tax. That's a joke, tell them laugh. Uncle Sam, fuck out the bag. Brody plot, forget a whack. Contract, give me the max. I got lab on my back. You ain't that, then it's raps. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste.
Facts, I need racks, paper cash, fuck a tax, that's a joke, tell him laugh. Uncle Sam, fuck out the bag, Brody plot, forget a whack. Contract, give me the max, I got lab on my back, you ain't that, then it's raps.
Whoa, 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 for the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste.